Welcome to LNP Renewable System Integrator. Today we are going to discuss some of the Python basics part 3. Okay, if you have missed part 1 and 2, please subscribe to our channel. In our channel we had created a playlist Python basics part 1 to 10 English, so that whatever things that you missed you can check out in the part 1 and 2. Okay, so in part 3 we are trying to sort out the understand the what are the different functions which are present in the Python. So first let us try to define what is Python function. So function is a block of code that performs a specific task. Say for example, you want to create a program, okay, you want to create a circle and you want to color it, okay. So now you can classify this into as a two functions, okay. You can create two functions. First thing is that you need to solve a problem that which creates a circle function, then you need to create a color function. So what we are going to do, we are trying to divide the complex function into smaller chunks so that we are trying to make our programs easy to understand and reuse. So what are the different types of functions which are available? So there are two different types of functions which are available in the Python programming. One is standard library functions and another one is a user defined library functions. So these standard library functions are inbuilt one which is already available in the Python. We can use it whenever required. These user defined functions we can create on our own, okay. We can use these functions based on our requirement, okay. Now let's try to know the what is the syntax that we need to follow for declaring a function. First thing is that def function underscore name, then argument should come, okay. So def here refers to the keyword which is used to declare a function, and function name is nothing but any name which is given to that particular function. And the argument is nothing but any value which is passed to that function, okay. The return function is optional, okay. If you want to return a value from a function, then we can use that one, okay. So now this is an example how Python function will work, okay. Under the def only, we will try to write that particular code, and after greet, okay, then we will use that another code, okay. Let us try to execute this code in our PyCharm, okay. Here we are defined that is print hello world, okay. We are calling that function again, greet function, so that we are trying to print that function outside it, okay. These are user defined functions. Let's try to execute that program in the PyCharm. See here, so whatever that we had mentioned inside that hello world is also printed, and when we try to call that function outside also, it is printing. Next, let's try to have an example exercise program. Let us try to create a hello world printer, okay, which takes no parameters, and let's try to print the string hello world, okay. Let's try to call the hello world printer function, okay. See here, hello world printer, we had already defined it, okay, and using the print operation we're just printing the string hello world, and at last we are trying to call that hello world printer outside. Now the syntax error is coming because there is an error in it in the second line. See here, so whenever you are using a print operation after def, you need one single space so that you won't get this error. Now we have to clear the error in front of you itself, so that we are trying to mention the hello world print operation, okay. Now let us try to have another exercise, okay. Let us try to create a function. Let us call it as a name underscore printer, okay, which let us try to take one parameter and print it, okay. Now again we will create a variable called name and assign it the user as an input, okay. Let us try to have an input message. It should ask the user to enter some name, and again what we will do using the call function, let us try to print the name, okay, as its argument. See here, we defined it and we are trying to enter the username. Now we are again asking the user to enter their name, and at last it will try to print. See here. So it is asking the user to enter the name. We had entered the name as a LNP. It is again printing as LNP. Now let us try to have a programming challenge of creating the volume of a rectangular prism. We all know the rectangular prism formula will be volume is equal to length into width into height. Okay. First we need to create the three variables which are representing the length, width and the height. Okay. Then we need to, using the input function, try to get the input value from the user itself and try to display the individual values if required, or else try to display the final output, that is the volume in cubic feet. Okay, this is the programming challenge. Okay, now here see, this is the solution for your programming challenge. So what we had created, we had assigned a variable length. Okay, we are trying to get the input from the user to provide in feet, and again for width as a variable we are assigning it, and we are trying to take through the input function, we are trying to take that value of the width, and height function also we are assigning a variable. Okay, using the input function we are trying to get the value of the height. Okay, now we all know it, we are defining the formula for the volume, that is length into width into height, and at last as a final output we are trying to mention the volume of the rectangular prism is, and we are trying to mention the value in cubic feet. Okay, so we had copied it. Let's try to execute it in the PyCharm. Here it is asking us to provide the length in feet. Let us try to give the value as 12. Then again it is asking us to provide width in feet. Let us try to give it as a 5. Okay, and again it is asking the height. Let us give the value as a 10. Now see here, 12 into 5 into 10, it is 600. So we are getting the exact final output. Okay, if you want to cross verify also, we have a calculator. Okay, let us try to sort the values. 12 into 5 into 10, 600. So our value is right. Now let us try to have another programming challenge of converting a Celsius to Fahrenheit. We all know it, for converting a Fahrenheit value, that is 1.8 into C plus 32. So that whatever value that you are giving in Celsius, it will try to convert as a Fahrenheit. This is a basic formula that we need to use. So it means we need to use input function here to get the input value in Celsius, and also we need a print function also to display the values. So we are using two things. We are using the input operation, as well as we are using the a calculation, that is mathematical calculations here. Then finally we are going to, using the print operation, we are going to display the values. Okay, so this is the program. Now let's try to execute it. See here, it is asking us to enter the degree Celsius value. So let us try to mention it as a 38 degree. So our Fahrenheit value will be 104. Okay. Even in certain cases, instead of if you are getting an output which is not a round off value, using the round function we can able to round the value that we are getting. Say for example, we already know it, for 34 the conversion will be 100.4. Okay. Now let us try to have a use the round function for the same program. Okay. You already know it, 38. So using the round function we are trying to mention the value, it is 104. Okay, so it is clearly mentioning the Fahrenheit equivalent is 38 degree. Now let's try to find the same value. Let's try to give it as a 35. See here, it is 95.0. Thank you so much. Please subscribe and press the bell icon. If you want to know more and learn more, you can contact us. We have provided our contact details here. If you're really interested to learn the Python programming, especially to work in the automation industry, then you can contact us. We have provided the contact details here. We are also providing PLC programming training for Siemens, Allen Delta PLCs. And if you had a plan to work in the GCC countries like Qatar, Oman, Saudi, Dubai, especially in the building management system and building automation control system, then you can contact us. We have provided the contact details here. If the EB power is not available, then you want to implement the solar DC light system, then you can contact us. And most importantly, for the uh, agriculture farms, in order to protect your crops from the wild animals, especially instead of going for electrical fencing, you can use solar fencing. So we are providing solar fencing as a kit. We're also providing solar on-grid, off-grid, hybrid application, solar street trail, solar pump service, design, installation, commissioning, consultancy, training supports. If you are really interested to learn the access control basics, electric vehicle basics, and Python basics, then you can contact us. We can provide our contact details here. Thank you so much.